All right, time for the best coaches of all time segment. I'm going to go through my top 10. So my criteria was a minimum of 250 games. So I think Trent Robinson just missed that. I think he had like 240 games, but I had to just put a limit on it somewhere. I know that's a lot of games. It's like 10 seasons, but to be the best, you've got to have longevity on your side as well. So number 10, I've got someone we all know very, very well. He's on the lower end of the game scale, but his premierships and his win percentage is just very impressive. And it's Phil Gould. Just a quick note, I haven't done their rep coaching stats. That would have just taken a year, and I didn't have that time, unfortunately. I was too busy watching Olympics. Only kidding. But Phil Gould, 59.3% win rate. Very, very good. Anything in and around 60 or above 60, you're in like an elite echelon. 280 games as coach, so around 11 to 12 seasons as coach. 1988 Dally M Coach of the Year. He won one premiership with Penrith and one with Canterbury. I think winning one at two different clubs brings a lot of value in my ratings. Obviously, winning two premierships anywhere is very impressive, but to do it at different clubs shows that you didn't just fluke it with a great bunch of players at one club. So here's my number 10. Brian Smithen at number 9. He has the lowest win percentage by a mile in at 50. Actually, no, there's someone else, but pretty much 50.7%. So not the greatest win rate. And he has 601 games under the belt, which is the main reason, to be honest. I think he had the third or fourth most games. So I just had to reward the longevity. That's so impressive. That's like 24 seasons of being a head coach in the NRL. He also changed a lot about the game. I know he's famous for in order to quell Billy Slater's impact in the games, he just told his halves to just kick it dead, and they brought in the 20-meter restart to stop that. So, I feel like I explained that poorly, but yeah, he changed the game. I know that's not like the greatest invention or anything, but that's the sort of legacy he left. He changed rules, he changed the game, and 601 games is nothing to scoff at. Two-time Dally M Coach of the Year. Famous for choking in finals, lost 4 grand finals in his time, lost a lot of final series despite having great teams. But yeah, the longevity, 2 Dally M Coach of the Year, I thought I had to reward him there. Number 8, I've got Kenneth Kearney, never know how to pronounce that one, but 59.2% win rate, 284 games under the belt. And this guy's famous for coaching the invincible St. George side that went 6 premierships on the trot. He won 5 of them as captain coach, which I thought was very, very impressive. And then he won the 6th as a coach after hanging up the boots. Didn't really have much success elsewhere. I don't know if he coached elsewhere. Actually, I'm talking out of my ass there. But yeah, 6 premierships, 6 in a row. Like, his base arguably stiffer not to be higher. But I just thought because he was captain coach, it's a bit, how's your father? But in at 7th, I've got the famous Clive Churchill, obviously famous for having the MVP on Grand Final Day named after him, the medal. But he was also a very good coach as well as player. 56.9% win rate as a coach, 260 games under the belt, but more importantly, 4 premierships with the mighty South Sydney Rabbitohs, and that's why he's in there. Bozo Fulton, the late, great Bozo Fulton, Bobby Fulton, in at number 6, 64.4% win rate, which is one of the best we've got in here. I think it's the second best, actually. 405 games, so he's got a bit of longevity to him as well. 1983 and 1981 Dally M Coach of the Year, and he won 2 premierships with the Manly team. He just left a great legacy. I know I'm not going to talk about rep coaches for all of them, but he was also a very famous representative coach. Knew how to get the best out of the star-studded lineup, as he did at Manly and in the Australian colours. And yeah, just a true legend on the game, on the field, and on the sideline as well. In number 5, the other lowest win percentage coach is Tim Sheens. Might be a little bit biased as a Tigers fan, but for me, it's more the legacy Tim Sheens has left. He changed the game with his innovative attacking style of footy that won the Tigers premiership in 2005. But more importantly, he produced so many coaches himself, whether it be through assistant coaches or that Raiders team that he actually coached. They produced about 6 or 7 first-grade coaches from that team. So they talk about it a lot in NFL, the coaching tree, not so much in Australian sports, but if they had one for him, that would be very, very impressive. Longevity on his side as well, 669 games, incredible. 3-time Dally M Coach of the Year, 4 premierships, 3 with Canberra, 1 with the Mighty Tigers. And he's back in the game. Well, he's not out of the game. He's been in the Super League, but he's back in the NRL as Director of Football at the Tigers, I believe. Some people calling for him to coach again. I don't think he should. I think he should just leave his coaching career behind him. But I think he'll be good for the Tigers. Number 4, I've got Arthur Halloway. Can't lie, I don't know much about this guy. He's back from the dinosaur ages with the greatest of respect. I think he might have coached in the early 19 teens and then the 1930s, but 61% win rate, 300 game coach, but more importantly, 8 premierships, which I just thought was ridiculous. He won 4 with Bellamy Tigers as captain coach and then went on to win 4 with East as a pure coach. So yeah, I couldn't deny the 8 premierships. That's just freakish. Number 3, arguably, well, probably the top 2 are more famous in the modern era, but arguably one of the most iconic coaches with his fur jackets. John Jack Gibson, 62.2% win rate, 394 games. 1-time Dally M Coach of the Year. He won 5 premierships, 3 with Parramatta, 2 with East. Just an incredible coach with a great legacy. Everyone always talks about him being like the super coach, and yeah, he's one of the early coaches that really had an era of dominance. Really, the top 2 have sort of followed suit in that sense. But yeah, Jack Gibson, John Gibson, however you know him, absolute legend of the game. Number 2, Craig Bellamy, and for me, this win rate is arguably enough to put him in a number 1. But for me, the lack of premierships is not enough to put him up there. I know that sounds ridiculous talking about the Storm with the lack of premierships, but 69.9% win rate. It's just ridiculous. You win 7 out of 10 games. You win 14 out of 20. I just can't dream of that win rate with as a Tigers fan. He's had that win rate over a 15, 16-year career, 17, 18. I can't remember how long it is. It's something around there. 492 games, so he'll notch up his 500th in the final series this year, which will be fitting. Might be the grand final, actually, depending how they go, which would be pretty cool. 3-time Dally M Coach of the Year. He won a couple as well that got rubbed out, obviously, salary cap saga, which I think, makes me want to punish him on the all-time list, but you can't do that. And he has won 3 legal premierships with the Storm. He might end the list at number 1, I can't lie, but yeah, he's just an incredible coach. But number 1, he's got longevity, he's got success, he's got everything to his name. I have to say, he's opened up a lot in the past, I reckon. He was a grumpy old man. Well, he still arguably is, but I remember growing up, he was just a dickhead to journalists, where now he seems to have nicened up a bit, softened up. But Wayne Bennett, the ultimate super coach for me, 877 games, which is just ridiculous. He's obviously hanging up the boots at the end of this year as the other bloke, I can't lie, I don't know his name, takes over as the Rabbitohs head coach. We think it'll be his retirement. We never know with Wayne Bennett. We've thought that before, but 62.4% win rate, 877 games, 2015 Dally M Coach of the Year, 1987 Dally M Coach of the Year, just shows his longevity there. 2000 Dally M Coach of the Year, 7 premierships, 6 with Brisbane, 1 with St. George. Just an incredible coach. And you think for an old guy, he would really have like a conservative coaching style, but he just lets the boys play. He's more of a man manager. I know it's a different sport, but he reminds me of a bit like Zinedine Zidane as a coach. It's probably a bit disrespectful to Wayne Bennett, but he's good at managing a team of stars. Everyone who talks about him just says how much they love him. They love playing for him, and although he's known to be a little bit scary at times, gives a good spray, as does, well, I'll be honest, I probably did Craig Bellamy dirty not talking about some of his stuff. But yeah, Wayne Bennett for me, the GOAT coach as of 28th of July 2021. A premiership with Bellamy this year, who knows, that could change my opinion. But yeah, Bellamy also famous for bringing in the wrestle to slow down, the Tigers 2005 and teams like that, changed the game completely. But for me, what's been the most impressive thing with Craig Bellamy, I know it might be a bit of recency bias, but hey, we thought when the big 3 retired that they would, go back to being average, but he's blown past that. And B, the way they've adapted to these new rules, and they just play amazing football to watch now. I remember for so long they were the most boring team to watch. They would just execute set pieces, like, the inside, outside. Everyone knows what I'm talking about with Smith to Cronk to Slade up. up the middle of the field. They just did boring stuff like that. Won games, 24-8. So, always had tight defenses, where now they just go for it, scoring 60 points. I know their team hardly ever concedes as well, but he just promotes interesting football now, which I really, really enjoy. So that's my top 10 coaching list. Going to be interesting to see how that ages in time.
It's a miracle! Oh, yeah! What about that one? Unbelievable! Balotelli, Aguero! Crowd cheers. Here's Siddle.